let's consider this particular system. First, I'm going to rearrange both of these equations. I'm going to get them into y equals mx plus b form. This way I can compare their slopes and y-intercepts. 3x minus 8 equals negative 2y. I'll call that equation 1. 6y plus 9x equals 24. I'll call that equation 2. Let's consider equation 1. 3x minus 8 equals negative 2y. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch the right and left sides. In other words, instead of writing 3x minus 8 equals negative 2y, I'm going to write negative 2y equals 3x minus 8. Now, I want to get y by itself on the left-hand side. Negative 2y means negative 2 times y. So to get the y by itself, I got to divide the left-hand side by negative 2. But because I divide the left-hand side by negative 2, I must divide both pieces on the right-hand side by negative 2 as well. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1, and 1 times y is going to be y on the left-hand side by itself. 3x divided by negative 2, that's going to be negative 3 over 2x. 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. But recall, in the middle here, you have a minus sign. So we've got minus a negative 4. That'll be plus 4. So I end up with y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 4. So the first equation is now rearranged. It's in y equals mx plus b form. Let's consider equation 2. 6y plus 9x equals 24. I want to get y by itself on the left-hand side. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 9x from the left-hand side. But if I subtract 9x from the left-hand side, I must also subtract 9x from the right-hand side. 9x minus 9x is 0. So on the left-hand side, I'll have 6y plus 0, which is just 6y. On the right-hand side, I'm going to rearrange 24 minus 9x, and I'm going to write that as negative 9x plus 24. 6y means 6 times y. So to get y by itself, I'm going to divide the left-hand side by 6. But because I divide the left-hand side by 6, I must divide both pieces on the right-hand side by 6 as well. 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 1 times y is just going to leave me with y on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, negative 9x over 6. I'm going to write that as negative 9 over 6x. 24 divided by 6 is 4. So I end up with y equals negative 9 over 6x plus 4. The negative 9 over 6 can reduce, though. 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 goes into 6 twice. So I end up with y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 4. Now, let's compare the slopes and y-intercepts. Well, the slope of equation 1 is negative 3 over 2. And the slope of equation 2 is also negative 3 over 2. So they have the same slopes. The y-intercept of equation 1 is 4. The y-intercept of equation 2 is also 4. So they have the same y-intercepts. In other words, these lines are exactly the same. They're identical. They're called coincident lines. And in this case, because they're coincident lines, there are infinite solutions.